Welcome back to Wives Gone Wild. Thank you for your loyalty. What town are you in right now? We're curious where these secrets find you. Here's today's cheating wife story. My name is Nate, and this story is about the night that was supposed to change my life forever. The night I had planned down to the smallest detail. The night I was supposed to propose to the woman I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. I was excited, nervous, but above all, I was sure. I had spent months preparing for this moment, picturing it in my head over and over. Every shared laugh, every late-night conversation, every quiet moment together, it all led to this. Lena and I had been together for years, and in my heart, there was never a doubt about where we were headed. We met in college, just two young souls crossing paths. At first, we were friends, the kind who stayed up talking until dawn, sharing dreams and fears. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. One day, I looked at her and realized she wasn't just a friend anymore. She was the one. A year ago, we took that leap, officially becoming a couple. And in that year, I fell deeper for her every day. Lena had this effortless charm, sharp wit, kind eyes, and a way of making me feel like the luckiest man alive. She wasn't just my girlfriend. She was my best friend, my partner, my future. Or at least, that's what I thought. For weeks, I searched for the perfect ring. Not too flashy, not too simple, something elegant, something that felt like her. When I finally held that small velvet box in my hands, my heart pounded. I could already see the moment in my mind. Me on one knee, her gasping in surprise, hands covering her mouth. And then, that beautiful, tear-filled yes. That night, I was ready. I had gathered our closest friends, the people who had been part of our journey, the ones who cheered us on. They knew the plan, had rehearsed every detail with me. They were waiting outside Lena's house, phones at the ready, prepared to capture the moment when I asked the most important question of my life. As we pulled up to her place, the air felt electric. This was it, the moment I had been waiting for. Little did I know, everything I believed in was about to be shattered. The night air was crisp, carrying a quiet hum of anticipation. My friends stood outside, their whispered excitement barely contained. They were ready to witness the happiest moment of my life. So was I? But instead of knocking on Lena's door like I normally would, I decided to make this moment even more special. I wanted to surprise her completely. She had given me a spare key months ago, a small gesture of trust, a silent promise that I was always welcome in her space. Holding that key in my palm, I smiled. She'd be shocked at first, confused even. But the second she stepped outside and saw our friends, the second she realized what was happening, she'd light up. At least, that's how I pictured it. Carefully, I turned the lock and eased the back door open, stepping inside without a sound. My heart pounded, not from nerves but from excitement. This was it, the moment we'd both been waiting for. Then I heard her voice. It drifted from down the hall, soft, intimate, a tone she had never used with me. I stopped, my breath catching. Who was she talking to? I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. I just wanted to wait until she finished her call, so I wouldn't interrupt. But before I could take another step, her words cut through the air like a blade. After this weekend, I'll figure out how to let him down easy. You're the one I want, not him. He'd never forgive me, but who cares? I froze. The room around me faded. My heart, which had been pounding with joy just moments ago, now felt like it had stopped altogether. I replayed her words in my head, hoping, praying, that I had misheard, that there was another explanation. But there wasn't. She was talking about me. The velvet ring box in my pocket suddenly felt heavier than ever. For months, I had been planning our future, believing we were building something real. But to her, I was just temporary. A placeholder. My breath came in uneven gasps. Had she been lying to me for weeks? Months? Had any of it ever been real? I couldn't stay there. I couldn't hear another word. My body moved on instinct, my feet carrying me back through the door, out into the night. As soon as I stepped outside, my friends saw me. Their smiles vanished in an instant. "Dude, what happened?" one of them asked, his hand gripping my arm. I shook my head, my throat tight. The words wouldn't come. "I just need to go." Confusion filled their eyes, but they didn't press. They just stood there, watching as I walked away from the moment that was supposed to change my life. And then, from inside the house, I heard footsteps. Lena must have realized something was wrong. The door swung open, and she stepped out, eyes scanning the darkness. The second she saw me, she stopped dead in her tracks. She knew. She knew I had been there. She knew I had heard everything. Nate, she called, panic creeping into her voice. She rushed forward as if she could fix this, as if she could undo what I had just heard. But it was too late. I was already gone. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the darkness around me swallowing everything whole. My mind wouldn't stop. The words I had overheard kept playing on a loop, each repetition cutting deeper than the last. You're the one I want, not him. I had spent months planning a future that, to her, had never even been real. The engagement ring sat on my nightstand, the velvet box slightly open, mocking me, a symbol of something that had never truly existed. Then my phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen, and there it was, Lena's name. For a long moment, I just stared at it. A part of me, the part still clinging to what I thought we had, wanted to answer. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe there was something I didn't understand. But deep down, I knew better. I should have ignored it. I almost ignored it. But curiosity, anger, maybe even some pathetic part of me that still wanted answers, made me pick up. I took a breath, steadied myself, and swiped to answer. Her voice came through light, cheerful, as if nothing had happened. Hey, babe, she chirped, like we were just having a normal conversation. I heard from the guys that you came over tonight, and, oh my God, were you really going to propose? My stomach twisted. She knew. She knew exactly what had happened, but she was pretending. Pretending like she hadn't just destroyed everything. Like she hadn't been caught. Was she serious? Did she really think I hadn't heard her? Or was this just another game? Another attempt to control the narrative? I let the silence stretch between us, forcing myself to breathe evenly. I wasn't going to give her what she wanted. I wasn't going to break, to scream, to beg for an explanation. She didn't deserve that kind of energy from me. Finally, when she realized I wasn't reacting, her voice changed. Softer now, fake concern dripping from every word. What happened? I exhaled slowly, my tone calm. Too calm. Yeah, I said, voice steady but sharp enough to cut. Something went wrong. Silence. I pictured her on the other end, scrambling for her next move. Maybe she was about to fake cry. Maybe she was about to try and spin the story. Maybe she'd even try to gaslight me, convince me I had misunderstood everything. But I wasn't giving her the chance. I'm done, Lena. My voice didn't waver. With everything. And before she could say another word, I hung up. I sat there for a moment, phone still in my hand, feeling the weight of what I had just done. It wasn't just heartbreak. It wasn't just disappointment. It was betrayal. The kind that makes you question everything. I forced myself to move, to function. The first thing I did was shove the engagement ring into a drawer, out of sight. Because every time I looked at it, my stomach twisted. That ring was supposed to mean forever. Now it was just a reminder of what I had almost walked into. Then, I went to my phone. Deleting the pictures was harder than I expected. Years of memories, gone in seconds. Every trip, every holiday, every candid moment we had shared. It all felt fake now. Still, I forced myself to hit delete. Keeping them would only make it harder to move on. I thought I was done dealing with her. I was wrong. A few days later, my phone rang again. Lena's parents. At first, I hesitated. What could they possibly want? Against my better judgment, I answered. Her mother's voice was soft, hesitant. Nate, we just heard from Lena. She told us you ended things. She was crying. We just wanted to understand what happened. I closed my eyes. Of course, she had spun the story. Of course, she had made herself the victim. I should have expected this. Did she tell you why? I asked, my voice measured. A pause. Then her father sighed. She said she did nothing. I almost laughed at how ridiculous that was. I forced myself to stay calm. Then she didn't tell you the truth. And so, for the first time, I told them everything. The proposal, the phone call, the other guy. I kept my voice even. No anger, no yelling, just facts. When I finished, the line was silent. Then her dad spoke, his voice heavy. We had no idea. Of course, they didn't. Lena had everyone fooled. We'll get to the bottom of this, her mom said. I didn't need them to. It was already over. But part of me wondered, if they had known the real Lena all along, would they have warned me? Or would they have warned her to stop? A week had passed. 7 days of trying to forget, trying to move on. The first few were the hardest. Anger, confusion, sleepless nights. But slowly, the fog began to lift. I wasn't thinking about Lena as much. Or at least, that's what I told myself. Then my phone rang. I glanced at the screen. Maya, Lena's best friend. I hesitated. I hadn't spoken to Maya since the night of the proposal. Honestly, I didn't want to deal with anyone connected to Lena, but something in my gut told me to answer. So I did. Her voice was serious from the start. No small talk. No fake concern. Just straight to the point. Nate, you need to know something. My grip on the phone tightened. I didn't respond right away. Just waited. My heart was already pounding, because deep down, I knew whatever she was about to say was going to make everything worse. Maya took a slow breath. Lena wasn't just cheating on you, she said. She was living a double life. I swallowed hard. What do you mean? She wasn't just with that guy behind your back. She's been doing this for months. And Nate, it's not the first time. A strange numbness spread through me. Explain. Maya hesitated, then said the words that changed everything. She keeps a backup guy. Every time. She never fully commits to anyone until she's sure which guy is better for her. Silence. I sat there, gripping the phone, trying to process. She was never going to tell you, Maya continued. The plan was to let you propose, then decide later if she actually wanted to go through with it. But the other guy, he was never serious about her. He just wanted their flings. He never planned to date her, let alone marry her. And just like that, the final piece of the puzzle fell into place. Lena never saw me as a real person. She never loved me the way I had loved her. I was just an option, a safety net. I should have seen it. The signs were there. The way she was distant sometimes, but sweet when she needed to be. The way she never made long-term plans, but still strung me along. The way she made me feel like the center of her world, until I wasn't. And now, she had lost everything. I exhaled, my hand still gripping the phone. Maya was waiting for me to say something, but there was nothing left to say. Thank you, I finally said. Then I ended the call. I sat in silence for a long time. Not thinking, not feeling, just existing. And then, I made a decision. I wasn't going to let this break me. Yeah, it hurt. Yeah, it messed with my head. But I refused to let Lena's betrayal define me. So, I threw myself into work. I focused on my goals, the things I had put on hold while I was too busy building a future with someone who never even saw me in hers. I picked up old hobbies. I reconnected with friends. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was living for myself. Then, one afternoon, my phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen. Lena, a single message. Can we talk? I stared at it for a moment. Not because I wanted to respond, but because of how predictable it was. She had lost her backup plan. She had gambled and lost. And now? Now she wanted to talk. I didn't even open the message. Instead, I smiled, blocked her number, and moved on. Because some love stories aren't meant to have a happy ending. And you know what? That's okay. Because sometimes, the real happy ending is choosing yourself over someone who never really chose you. Some heartbreaks feel unbearable in the moment. But looking back, they often reveal what we were too blind, or too hopeful, to see. Nate's story isn't just about betrayal. It's about self-worth. About realizing that love isn't about convincing someone to choose you. It's about being with someone who never had to think twice. Many of us have faced moments like his. Moments when trust was broken, when the future we envisioned crumbled before our eyes. But here's the truth. Sometimes, losing someone is the best thing that can happen to us. Because it makes room for something better, something real. Healing doesn't happen overnight. But one day, you wake up and realize you're okay. You're stronger. And you've built a life that no longer revolves around someone who never truly saw you. Have you ever had to walk away from someone who didn't deserve you? What did you learn from it? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, take care of your heart.